Hello, everybody, and thanks for tuning in. On the show today, I speak to somebody who has seen Afghanistan up close and personally. The guest today, he has been to Afghanistan in the last decade. He was a key part of infrastructure projects that were crucial for the nation building of the war-torn nation. I welcome Joydeep Chakraborty to the show. Thank you very much, sir, for being here.
Thank you, Deepali.
I hope you can shed some light on life before the Taliban rule, as well as how we got to this stage. So, sir, to start off, what took you to Afghanistan and which years were you there for?
Okay, so I was there for about 2.5 years, beginning from 2014 till about 2017. And well, I went there because I got an opportunity to work with USAID. And that posed numerous challenges because the country has been, under conflict from so many years. And of course, it was quite rewarding. So yes, those were some of the reasons why I went there.
All right. What kind of projects were you involved in? What was your purpose there?
Sure. So I was part of a USAID project, which was the electricity for the electricity development of the country. It was for the National Electricity Utility of Afghanistan. And I was a part of a 70-member contingent. And I used to work for the Corporate Communications Department of the National Electricity Utility.
So when you first landed in Afghanistan, what was the impression you had of the place, the people? What stood out for you?
Oh, so it is completely contrary to the general belief, world across. So the people are very warm, they are friendly. The country has some pristine locales, it is beautiful, and they share a love for food as we Indians do.
So were you ever faced with this? So there were challenges, I believe, of working in the infrastructure sector over there. So what were the specific challenges, if you can mention some of the anecdotes?
See, the country has been under conflict from so many years. And Afghanistan imports power. It has a brutal winter. Yet, I believed, and what I faced is that there were multiple interests from multinational business groups. So these were quite a challenges because the development has been good, but it required a lot of more inroads into the organizations, inroads also in terms of making a one-place shop, a one-place window for various activities. So these were definitely some of the challenges which were overcome during our tenure there.
Right. Were you ever faced with a situation where you had to think on your feet and manage a crisis? I understand your work had a lot of dealing with locals also.
Yes, of course. So I was part of the electricity department, and electricity did had a public interface to deal with. In terms of a crisis, one of the foremost challenge of the utility was in terms of high rate of defaulters. And there were multiple advocacy efforts which were being done so that the collections go up. But none of them were very successful. So we decided to go public. So we did announce the list of defaulters, which is a very common phenomenon in India, but in Afghanistan, this is a life-threatening risk. But yet the decision was done after a lot of convincing inside the organization. And we went public and the idea worked.
And so you went to Afghanistan after a significant period of Western intervention there. So infrastructure-wise, what are your views? What were your views about the development till then?
Development has been very good. We should never forget that the country has seen a lot of conflicts, lot of different countries who have been there, a lot of different rules or conflicts which the country has faced. Yet the hotels, the airlines, the investments in infrastructure, they have been fabulous. Kabul as a capital has seen a great amount of economic development. The restaurants have been flourishing. It was a brilliant development. I mean, it's completely developed in terms of what a country should have been. And the background I just shared.
So do you think this development will sustain now that the Taliban is in power? At that time also, infrastructure was under constant threat, security threat. What do you think happens now?
Electricity is a catalyst. Electricity is a catalyst, in a growth for any countries. And I feel, it's my personal belief, that any rule would sustain the infrastructure projects which we initiated, because this would lead to the development of the people. So any rule, whether it was the earlier or whether it is the today's rule or tomorrow what will happen, it's everybody's and anybody's guess. But the infrastructure projects would be sustained. They would be taken care of, and it would definitely, many of them would see the day of light. I don't feel threat to those projects at all.
Okay. Also, sir, during your time there, you dined with all the VIPs. You also went on the ground. You were in touch with the locals. Did you find any disconnect between the two?
Yes, yeah, it was a privileged role which I landed up, and yes, you were right, Dipali, in terms of my interaction was crisscrossed with various audiences. So polarities do exist in any country, but then what I felt with the very close interactions with multiple government officials and diplomats, that they do a lot of outreach. There are a lot of numerous exchanges which happen at multiple levels, whether it is a cultural level, whether it is an educational level. So, and India has been quite a friendly nation to Afghanistan. So so these polarities definitely are being bridged on, but yes, they do exist.
All right, sir, I would leave it there. Thank you very much for sharing a little bit of your life in Afghanistan with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dipali.
Thank you.
Subscribe to One India channel and never miss an update.